Hey, what's up, everyone? You're listening to the True to Size podcast brought to you by Canada's Got Soul.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome to True to Size. We are a weekly podcast centered around the wild world of sneakers. I will be your host today. My name is Lawrence Hopkins, and I'm joined by half of the rest of the quarantine at Canada Got Soul. Mr. Joel Hernandez could not be here today. Alvin Martinez.
Yo.
And we got a guest for the first time in a while.
It's been a minute
for this, and it's been a while since I've been able to write like a little poem for our guests, so I'm very excited for this. This man goes for more walks than a puppy and longer bike rides than the Tour de France.
Oh,
and he's always doing it in a clean pair of sneakers and a crisp pair of pumps. If you think you've got connections, I can guarantee you he's got the most. His mama call him Carlos, but that's too long, so we call him Los.
Yes.
Los, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. That was amazing, Lawrence. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It took me 3 hours to write it, so I hope it's good. Just so I can make sure I get this right, Los is formerly Livestock, formerly Take 5, right? Take 5 Trading, and currently owner of your own business, 8.5, correct?
That's correct. All the above.
Beauty. Wow. Yeah. So Los has a very tenured history in this sort of sneaker, streetwear, all that game, probably more tenured than he'd care to admit on the podcast. Yeah, we're going to get into it a bunch with him later. But we've got a fantastic show for you guys all this week. We're definitely got some catching up to do because we missed, 3 weeks in a row, Alvin?
3 weeks, bro.
3 weeks.
It's been a minute.
It's been busy. But once we get through all that, we're going to run through our usual segments. Because for the first time in a minute, we've got a guest. That means 21 questions. That means a solography. And of course, that means learning more about Los's interesting professional journey in the sneaker and streetwear space. But first, Alvin.
Oh, fuck. I wasn't ready because I was waiting for Joel to do it. Fire round.
Yeah, that was bad. That's sick.
I know.
That's a flu game, Alvin.
Sorry, man. If I didn't have COVID, it'd be better, but
good try. Yes, the fire round. We like to start every show with a quick hitting question from you, our listeners. And this week's question comes from good friend of the show, Gerald C, aka Gerald Castro.
Gerald,
a friend of the show on Instagram. And he says, with the LeBron 20 looking very similar to a Kobe, which it does. I actually really like the LeBron 20. It's a good looking shoe. If they were to do a collab between the two lines, which colorways would you want to see them do? Like if they did like a Kobe colorway on a LeBron 20 or a LeBron colorway on a like mix and match, whatever. Let's do a Kobe colorway on a LeBron just to keep it simple.
Shoot.
Yeah, Kobe colorway, a classic Kobe colorway on the LeBron 20. What would you want to see? Alvin, you can go first.
The Grinches.
You took the best one.
If you think about if they do that for this Christmas and they start doing Christmas colorways again and they do a Grinch,
that'd be fire.
He is still on the Lakers, so I mean,
it's true.
It would only sort of make sense, but that'd be cool, man. Because I definitely agree that it does look like a Kobe. Like it gives me Kobe vibes for sure.
Absolutely, it's like the first low cut LeBron has really ever.
It's
had.
the first LeBron I've wanted to purchase in a while.
Yeah, it's not cheap though. It's
since the LeBron 8 maybe or the 9.
Yeah,
you know what
so
I mean?
I think it's a $280 sneaker.
Oh,
I believe it's $200 or $220 US.
Wow.
I don't know if they've actually released in Canada
yet.
So
it's at $500 Canadian?
Yeah. Once you with the conversion what it is right now, close to 500. Yeah, after tax. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. I actually do like the LeBron 20 a lot. I'm going to go with, while we give Lo some time to think as well. I would have said Grinch. I think Grinch is the easy answer. I'm going to go with the Galaxy Kobe 7.
Oh, the silver?
Yeah, it's like the full Galaxy upper with like the silver midsole.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do Galaxy Kobe 7. I love anything Galaxy. Ooh. The Kobe 7 was kind of underrated. It performed pretty well for me on court. I love the Galaxy print on anything. So if you were to put it on the LeBron 20, I would be very much in. So I'm gonna go Galaxy Kobe 7 on the LeBron 20. Los, bring us home. Kobe colorway on LeBron.
I would do the Black Del Sols.
Oh,
yes, classic.
Black and gold looks good on anything. Sole backwards is Los It's a win-win for me.
It's a win-win.
True. Del Los.
Yes.
Damn.
That's the one.
Del Los. That was very calculated. We did not prepare him for that, by the way. He did not know that was coming.
He did not.
He pulled that out of his back pocket like he's been waiting years to say that one. It's not the first time I've been asked that question. If you would like to submit a question for the fire round and have us answered on the pod, please shoot us a message on Instagram or email us at canadagotsoul@gmail.com. Next up, the CGS picks. Each week, we all pick an upcoming sneaker to analyze, dissect, and give our thoughts on. Then we decide if it's poop, scoop, whoop-de-whoop, or Alvin's trademarked phrase.
Super cute.
That's correct. And I'm trusting Alvin here because
Oh, shit.
Alvin was in charge of procuring the guest this week. And usually the person in charge of procuring the guest has to tell the guest, you need to choose an upcoming sneaker for the CGS picks.
I may have omitted that from
and
the email.
figured he didn't. So Los has a couple minutes here, and I'll talk very slow just to look on the internet, just to talk about an upcoming release that he may or may not be excited about. I'm going to start because as we do, and then Alvin's going to talk really slow as well. But
I always talk slow.
I'm going first, and it's a pair that just hit the internet like I want to say like 2 days ago. It's starting to kick up a lot of buzz, so I'm kind of getting really excited for it. And I know Alvin isn't, and it's the Nigel Sylvester. Looks like he's getting another Jordan 1 sneaker. This one is black as opposed to the original version he did, which was like a full sail. This one's a black upper, white 3M swoosh. The white mini swoosh on the toe box just sets off on the black upper so well. Sail midsole, red outsole. What I like about these is it's a white tongue, or like a sail tongue. So the sail laces really set them off. I know that Alvin, when I posted them, he's like, just go buy the yin yang ones, is what he said to me. No, I'm not going to do that because I want these ones. They have the same distressing on the upper. Very, very cool. I've heard from a source who I trust a lot about Jordans, who told me this was actually one of the original samples when they were first collaborating. I hope I don't end up on like Sneaker News as being quoted as that, because I'm sure I'm not supposed to actually share that information. But these were initially a sample. Now, the fact that they're kind of resurging now, we have these like semi-detailed images on the internet floating around. He just wore them the other day for his book. It kind of feels like they're coming out. Like I don't think he would all of a sudden, like 4 years later, just decide, oh, I'll wear these samples for the first time in a picture. Like it really feels like they're trying to build some sort of hype here.
Calculated.
It definitely feels calculated. I mean, it's Nike, Jordan brand. Like nothing's an accident with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like they're prepping for a release of this pair, and I would definitely be down because I really am sad that I don't own the first pair, and this would kind of like ease the pain a little bit. But yeah, we will see. It could go either way. But yeah, for now, they are cute. They are a cute for me. Alvin, what shoe do you have? I'm sure you picked your own shoe this week, so
sometimes
didn't tell your guests to pick.
That's honestly, that's a surprise that you like these, because you don't like black shoes.
I know I don't like black shoes. It's weird. I think it's the white tongue that's helping me a lot.
And the red outsole, probably.
Yeah, it's helping me a ton.
And the mini swoosh, let's be real.
The mini swoosh
is dope.
You could put a mini swoosh on pretty much anything. I'll probably buy it. Literally anything.
Oh man. All right. So I'm gonna talk about a New Balance 550. It's the new suede varieties that they're gonna be pumping out. And I don't know, they're just clean, yo. So the one I'm talking about is the navy pair that has an all suede upper. Aside from the New Balance N that appears to be a leather. It's got a white tongue on it. The outsole itself is patina or sail, and then the midsole is white. Always a good mixture. You know, Teddy Santis had his hand in these just because they look very ALD-esque. Super duper cute. They're set to release in 2022. There's no exact date, but I know there's also, like, I saw online, I saw a pink pair, a gray pair, and I believe there's like a probably a green pair too, but it's going to be all suede. And the color blocking is just super simple, very monotone aside from the accents. But yeah, these are dope. And it's the 550, so everyone's going to hype over them.
Yep.
But for me,
these
are they're super cute. Super duper. I'm feeling the navy though. I love navy. So
just a super cute, huh?
Yeah, we'll see.
Before we get to Los, I want to add something funny because I just remembered it. And it kind of plays into Alvin completely forgetting to tell Los to pick a shoe. And Alvin's initial shoe that he sent me, he's like, oh, this is my pick this week, was the Better Gift Shop Vans collection, which came out last week. So that's not very helpful. That was a really good collection. I was very close to buying, not the old school. What do they call it? Style 76 or
Style 76.
Yeah, whatever it's called. Those are very cool.
Yeah.
I had to pull back a little bit, but yeah, I was very close. Shout out to Better Gift Shop, Toronto's very own. Los, what have you got for us on the fly?
On the fly, I would say a reissue of a 2004 Air Max 1, the Crep Hemps.
Yes.
I don't know if they released already in the US, but I know stores here haven't got them yet. So
correct.
I feel like I'm okay with this one.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll allow it.
Hemp, suede mudguard, that crepe aesthetic outsole. I mean, like, what more can you ask for?
Yeah,
it's pretty classic, and I think like just the sole, it gives it a different like feel, literally on your feet. So
yeah, way more comfortable. Yeah. I did not know that these were a reissue. When did they come out the first time? 2004?
2004, yeah.
Really?
Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't I know that? Oh my God, they did. Look at that. I'm not going to lie. I feel like this new pair looks better. The 2022 looks better than the 2004. Yeah. The toe box looks like very bulky on the. I mean, I'm looking at a used pair on Goat right now,
which some people like. The purists like.
That's true.
Yes, I like the sharper toe box personally. Yeah, we don't talk about those purists here, and Joel's not on the podcast, so he can't fight me.
He can't defend himself.
Yeah, Joel's not here to fight me on it, so what we're saying is fact. That's fine. I didn't know those were a reissue, but yeah, classic shoe. Love the look of that shoe. All right, coming up next, This Week in Kicks. This is the part of the show where we discuss the current headlines and happenings in the world of sneakers. And this is potentially a semi big one if it actually comes to fruition. Nike might finally be cracking down on bots and resellers. Maybe. We will see. So much has been said on this podcast about the likelihood of getting anything off of sneakers platforms from Nike, whether that be the US app, the Canadian website, which is even worse than the app, whatever. It's usually nearly impossible to get anything that's semi good on either platform. Much of that has to do with bots, obviously, as we're now very well familiar with, and resellers buying pairs and trying to, even if it's a $5 flip it for some sort of value, which is incredibly annoying. And then the worst part, if it happens to not sell for them, they're like, you know what? I'm just going to return it to Nike because Nike has a really good return policy and I can return it for free. Well, apparently all that's going to change. I mean, if I'm Nike, I'm pissed about that. So I would probably change it too.
Yeah.
Nike has apparently said that they're going to, not apparent, they did say this, but it's apparent if they're actually going to do it. We'll be cracking down on this kind of buying behavior using technology. This is in quotes to cancel orders it has deemed have been made with bots, which is number one. Flagging accounts with a high volume of returns. So if you're buying a bunch of stuff and then 29 days later, you're returning it, they're going to flag that. And they said they could go as far as charging a restocking fee or declining to issue a refund if suspend an account if people have determined that they're buying shoes to flip them. Basically, they're saying if they think you're buying shoes to flip them, they're not giving you all your money back. They're like, sorry, you're not a good flipper. You're not a good reseller. You're not getting any money back from us. Which is kind of crazy. I don't even know if that's legal. I'm not going to lie. I guess if it's written into your terms, it probably would be okay. Who's going to sue Nike also? But yeah, thoughts on this, Alvin, first and foremost. What do you think this is even going to happen? Like, what's good here?
I'm just trying to figure out how they're going to tell that you're a reseller.
Yeah, or unless
it's like someone who's returned many items previously, maybe like they're going to try to do that. But I feel like that's very manual work. I mean, honestly, it's Nike. They figure shit out somehow anyway. But at the same time, it's just like they also talk a lot at times and nothing happens. So I don't know, man. It'll be interesting though. Like when we start seeing like posts on Twitter or Insta being like, Nike didn't want to refund me because they think I'm a reseller. You know,
stuck with this shoe, take it for 30% off retail. Yeah. That's a dream. That's a dream. I mean, I've seen a lot of people concerned because like I've bought stuff from Nike and then returned it. Like I'll buy it for a Soul Savvy member and they'll be like, actually, never mind. I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll return it. Who cares? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I mean, in the last year, I've probably returned 6 or 7 things to Nike. Like, is that considered a high volume of returns? I mean, for a regular consumer, that's probably a high volume of returns.
Yeah.
But for someone who's buying several pairs per month, it's probably not considered a high volume. So I guess it really depends. Thoughts on this, Los? I know you worked in sneaker retail for a bit, so I'm sure you can imagine how much of a bitch this would be. But
I mean, like the first thing they said is like they're gonna have this technology to figure out who's a reseller when they try to return things. Well, why not just use that to not allow them to buy as many pairs in the first place?
Yeah.
But like, I don't get it. And I don't know how they're going to implement it, but yeah, use that technology to not allow them to buy multiple pairs in the first place.
That's a great fucking point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why are you going to get to that point where they would even need to don't let them have it in the first place? Yeah.
Yeah. And then also in terms of like not being able to give you your money back, I think there could be legal issues there as well.
Yeah. Feels like it. Like it feels like you need to.
Yeah. Maybe they're just saying it as a deterrent,
Yeah. Very,
to scare
very possible.
people. Yeah.
I mean, it seems like that would scare away like the small time reseller who's going like maxed out credit card, has to sell a pair to pay off the credit card situation, like one of those. But I'm sure that these like huge, like for a career resellers are not like, ooh, I can't return these Jordan 2s. Oh no. Like,
oh no.
I don't think that they are all that concerned with that. And the thing is, people just will make another sneakers account. No, like, can't you just make another account? Like,
yeah, get your sister to return it, or
yeah, exactly. Like, it just go back to a store, because I'm pretty sure you can return Nike product you bought online in a store too. Like, it just seems like there's not that I'm trying to give anybody any ideas, but it seems like there's a trillion ways around this. And it, again, I think that's a good take by Los. It feels like they're just trying to deter 10 people, which, I mean, ultimately, if it does deter some people, it's helpful. But yeah, we'll see if it actually does anything long term.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see the rollout, right? Yeah.
100%. Or even if the general consumer will notice a difference, will there be like different boxes you have to agree to? It'll be like, oh, you can't return this or whatever. Like, who knows, right? Because you would have to tell somebody up front, you can't return a product. You can't just all of a sudden spring it on them.
True.
But time will tell. Very interested to see. It's not going to make a difference for Canada anyways, because our Nike website sucks. So who cares? Next up, previously in Kicks, this is the part of the show where we review our latest pickups and recap latest happenings in our sneaker lives. It's been 3.5, maybe even 4 weeks. I hope something has happened in Alvin's life in the last 3 weeks. Any updates to provide for the good people at home, Alvin? Anything?
What did I bought diapers today.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh no. So Tip Top hooked me up with a suit.
Mm-hmm.
A nice black suit with like the collar. It's a little bit shiny. It's kind of cute.
I think that was considered a tux. Was that the tuxedo or no?
Might have been a tuxedo. I don't know.
You're like the black suit with a black bow tie. Oh, you mean a tuxedo?
Yeah. With the white dress shirt. I guess it's a tux. Yeah, why not? So I definitely just need to get it tailored because the pants are kind of long, and when I wear suits, I like the pants kind of cropped, like short, above the ankle type.
Yes.
And then the jacket is just a tad loose, which I don't mind because when I eat at special occasions, I need the extra room because I am a well-fed individual. So I don't mind that, but I still want to take it in just a little bit, and then we'll see. So shout out to the Tip Top fam for that. And oh man, honestly, I don't know if anything else has happened in the last 3 weeks.
Wow, there's no
probably,
way
but
is that boring.
I'm just boring. I'm a dad now, so
let me pick up the slack for you.
Thank you.
So the reason we missed the podcast 3 weeks ago is because I was in Florida. That was very fun. Just missed the hurricane. Like literally just narrowly missed the hurricane. Was home like 2 days. 2 days before it hit Florida. Hopefully all our Florida family is doing okay and doing well, because I know that was some devastating stuff that I saw in the news. That was great. In terms of pickups, I converted to the dark side slightly and picked up a pair of the Salehi Crocs Pollex in the Tide colorway. I don't know if I can do it.
What color is that? Is that the blue one?
The blue, yeah. It's a really nice blue, actually. It's beautiful blue. Almost like a dark Powerade blue.
Oh, it's a Lawrence color right there.
It's a good looking shoe. If you can call it a shoe, that's a discussion for a different day. It's a good looking footwear. I just don't know. I don't know if I can do it. I put it on my foot and it was comfy. And then I looked down and I was like, I don't know.
Don't think of it as a Croc. Think of it as a Salehi.
I know. In general, I don't know if I've seen people, like I've looked at people wearing them and I'm like, oh, those don't look too bad. And then I looked at my own foot and I was like, I don't know. I think it requires like a baggier pant. There's like a certain look and aesthetic you need to like pair it with. And I just don't know if I have that, but we'll see. We'll see. I got them for retail. So true. I will never complain about that, but unsure if I will keep them. Very unsure. I just like on Salehi's website is usually impossible to navigate. So when I was able to buy them for retail on his website, I was like, well, out of principle, I'm just going to buy them and then we'll see what happens when they get here. I'm sure someone would gladly take them from me for retail. Yeah, so
for sure.
Not incredibly concerned. What else did I get? I thought I got something else.
You get golf shoes?
No golf shoes. Damn, maybe I am as boring as Alvin. Nothing else really. Oh, I do have a couple things actually. So my phones, I have an iPhone 11. My phone's camera, front-facing camera, was having issues. The Face ID didn't work for pretty much like a year. And I just never cared. And all of a sudden I was like, I'm sick of not being able to use Face ID and putting in my password manually. I'm going to go get it fixed at Apple. So I went there, assuming they were just going to be like, boop, 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 and fix it. So I go in and the lady's like, oh, we will replace the camera for you. Come back in an hour. I was like, bless, sounds good. She's like, do you have a backup just in case? And I was like, yeah, 100%. I have it backed up on my computer at home. No worries. She goes and takes it. I come back in an hour. She's like, okay, give me 10 more minutes. She comes out and she's like, so we actually weren't able to fix it.
No.
But we're going to give you a brand new phone. I was like, sick, fire. That's really cool. I didn't get like the new 14 or whatever, but I got a new version of my old phone. I was like, dope. Nice. She's like, you have a backup at home, right? I'm like, yeah, 100%. Just give me the phone. I'm out of here. Peace. Get home. Did not have a backup.
No.
On my computer. I lost everything. Everything. No. So I was somehow able, because there was some photos just on my computer, to get like, I had probably 10,000 photos on my phone. I think I have like 1,000 now. So I lost a very substantial amount of photos, which really sucks. I lost every single contact in my phone. So Lois, you need to text me. But I didn't want to be that person who like goes onto like Instagram stories, like new phone, text me. I hate that. So I was like, I'm just going to live not having.
But it's funny because you actually had an issue though, like where
exactly. Yeah. I'm not just like that.
But everyone else has the contacts.
Exactly.
That
to
get like someone else's like
exactly.
Or something.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't want to be that person. So I'm just going to live with not having anybody. For anybody listening who has my phone number, please text me when you hear this. I've been like guessing when someone texts me. I'm like, I think this is this person. I can see in Los's reflection in his glasses. He's doing it right
now. Never mind.
Yeah, people have been texting me like, hey, blah, 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 blah. I'm like trying to like go based on context. Like, what are they texting me? So yeah, that's been an adventure. And then one more thing that's currently transpiring this week is, so I live in a condo, and I'm sure Los can relate to this. The condo has, in terms of like heat system, it's either set to cold or it's set to hot. It's a condo, so you go on one furnace in the basement somewhere. Everyone is on the same system. You can basically just turn on heat, turn on air, or turn them off. That's it. So for the last week, it's been hot as shit in the condo, like deathly hot. When I'm talking hot, I'm talking like 88 degrees Fahrenheit in the condo, which is like too much. So for a couple of days, we were like, they just switched the system from cool to hot. It's just adjusting. It's been pretty warm the last couple of days. It's been like 18, 20 degrees for the last couple of days. We got to deal with it. And yesterday it was 88 degrees and we called security and we're like, hey, this is ridiculous. Like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, actually, the system is broken right now and it's stuck on high. So it's just pumping hot air. Like you can see the vent behind, like all the vents are just pumping hot air into all the units in the entire 2 buildings. So there's 2 buildings connected. But we're trying to get it fixed. So it's not fixed yet. It's like maybe 84 degrees in my condo right now, which is probably 14 degrees hotter than I would want it to be. Fahrenheit. Yes, we're using Fahrenheit. So I went out yesterday and bought a Dyson fan because I was like, done with this. This is so expensive, very expensive fan. And I apologize to Canadian Tire, but I will probably be returning it once they figure out the furnace situation. It was on sale. That's like a $450 fan. Got it for $300, and I will be returning it. But it is pretty good. Not a bad fan. Yeah, that's going to be put back in the box and returned. Once it's not literally outside here. Like I looked at the weather yesterday in Dallas, Texas, and it was hotter in my condo than it was outside in Dallas, in friggin' Texas. So yeah, if anyone knows any rights or responsibilities of a condo corporation and I can get some money back, then that would be great. But,
well, they should have told you guys. I would.
They didn't send a notice. Nothing. They didn't send nothing. We were just supposed to assume that we're just all gonna bake alive. I guess they're like, sorry, just sweat, just die. Just whatever, deal with it. So yeah, it's been unpleasant. We've been a grumpy bunch in this condo for a couple days. It's pretty hard to be happy when you're boiling alive. Yeah. Anyways, enough with my woes. Los, any pickups for you in the last couple weeks, sneakers or otherwise? Clearly or otherwise.
Maybe like within the last 3 weeks to a month, I got those general purpose shoes.
Oh, which one? Yellow?
Yeah, yellow. The one that everyone has.
How do you like them?
They're good. Yeah. I mean, like they're a little bit wide, which isn't bad. So
good to know.
I mean, I feel like they look better with baggier pants.
Yeah.
I don't know, just me. So yeah, they're not bad. So far, so good.
Did you go true to size? I've heard like weird things about sizing.
I did.
True to size. Yes. And they're done in women's sizing, right?
Yeah, so I'm at 8.5 normally. I got a 10,
and they fit fine.
Yeah,
yeah.
Have you worn them? Like everyone who I know who owns that shoe just wears them like every day.
Yes, I've been wearing it a lot. It's true because it's just like I just have them at the front door right now, and like I go check the mail or anything. It's just I just wear those. Go to the store. It's those,
and they're holding up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe I do want that shoe. Even though
so not purpose. Bad. I saw prices. They're not bad right now.
It's not terrible.
Not
there's a lot of pairs of that shoe. There's
tons. Yeah. Like you can get them for like $200.
Yeah,
$220.
Yeah.
That I picked up like a Rafa cycling kit.
Nice.
Sick.
So which is pricey. I didn't know like cycling gear is so expensive, but it really is.
It's a rich man's hobby for sure.
Yeah. And then just like I got some denim from Blue Button, some fundamental denim.
Sick. I was actually looking at their website today. I'd never heard of them. And then someone recommended them. So I would look them up today. They got some nice stuff.
They got super nice stuff. And just like cool staff as well, I would say.
Where's the store?
Nice. It's at on Dundas, right at like Dufferin.
Oh.
Yeah, so south side, southwest side.
That's actually not far from me at all.
Yeah.
That's close to you too.
Yeah, and it's a cool spot.
Interesting.
A lot of Japanese, home goods, apparel, and they have men's and women's.
Is it a big store?
It's not that big, no.
Because they have a ton of like I went on their website today. They have a ton of stuff.
They do. I think they do really well online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at their Capital selection today. They have a
very cool shop.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. And then that's just a lot of food.
A lot of food. Yeah. Every day you're eating. One of my questions today was going to be, give me your best food spots in the Junction. Cause that's like very close to me, but,
I don't know very many in the Junction actually.
That breakfast spot you went to a couple weeks ago was in the Junction. No, like the eggs. One? It was like an egg sandwich you posted. And I was like, God damn, that looks absolutely delicious. It looked like
that's like considered the Junction, right?
Yeah. I think it was considered the Junction.
Yeah. That spot's amazing.
What was it called?
I forget. I forget what it's called.
That's what you can text me.
I'll text it to you.
That's what you can text me. Yeah, I'm a very big breakfast person, and that egg.
Like that egg sandwich was nuts.
Yeah, if you don't follow Lowe's, follow him just for the food pictures and for him walking around Toronto
and biking from Toronto to Hamilton.
Also, the place is called Alma plus Gill. So Alma e Gill.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's on DuPont Street.
Yes, and it was
very delicious.
It was like DuPont and Dufferin, or
no, it's west of Dufferin. It's
west of Dufferin. Yeah, it was like definitely the junction then.
Yeah. It's closer to like getting to Dundas.
Okay,
right.
Fine. Yeah,
like that intersection.
That weird ass intersection. Yeah,
it's by Matacchione, if you know where that is.
Yeah, perfect.
But very, very good.
Very close to me. See, these are the recommendations we want on True to Size. Breakfast sandwiches.
Food.
Big breakfast sandwich people over here. All right. Moving on to thumbs up, thumbs down. In this part of the show, we give our opinion on various sneaker related topics with zero context or discussion. All we're allowed to say is thumbs up or thumbs down. And this week's that we may have done before, but I just had a pair come through recently, so I need to do it again, is Yeezy slides. Thumbs up, thumbs down, Alvin, to Yeezy slides.
Down.
Los.
Down.
I'm also thumbs down. Was hoping that would be more divisive than it was. Anyways, moving on. Next up, NSR, not sneaker related. We talk about sneakers a lot, so in this weekly segment, we're going to take 30 seconds out of the show to discuss something completely irrelevant to the world of sneakers. And fresh off Thanksgiving, happy belated Thanksgiving to everybody listening at home. Was it last weekend? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't, I don't know. Everything's a blur nowadays.
Time is crazy right now.
It's insane. I'm living in an oven right now, so all time is standing still. Okay. Fresh off Thanksgiving, it was a short week. That's right. Now it's making sense. I want to know, what is your GOAT Thanksgiving dish? Like your traditional Thanksgiving, what's the greatest Thanksgiving dish? Like one thing of all time. Is it like the turkey? Is it the gravy? Is it the stuffing? Is it whatever? What's your GOAT Thanksgiving dish? I'm going to go first because mine is just like the classic. Might be cheating, I don't know. But it's just the turkey with the gravy. Like, give me the turkey and then literally drown it. So it's basically a stew in gravy, and that's it. I'm good. I could eat that only for Thanksgiving, and I would be more than happy. I don't know why. This is my petition to the world. Why don't we eat turkey more often? Why, as a society, do we only have turkey, twice a year? Like, what's going on here? Is there a turkey shortage? I was went golfing yesterday and there was turkeys on the golf course. Like, there can't be a turkey shortage. Why do we only have turkeys twice a year? Is it expensive? I don't think so.
Because they're big, expensive. Bro.
That means there's more of it to go around. You can't just buy a turkey. Like, no one just, why don't we just eat turkey breast? Why is it chicken breast? Why? Like,
because they don't do.
There's an idea for a restaurant, Lawrence. Turkey, serve turkey year round,
all year round turkey. We can just do Thanksgiving all year round.
That's what the restaurant's going to be called, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Giving thanks. It's giving thanks.
It's giving thanks. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's my answer. Man. And then again, today still having turkey. Now it makes sense that Thanksgiving was this week. I had a turkey sandwich for lunch today with leftover turkey. Literally just turkey, mayo in a sandwich. Done. And some pepper and whatever. Delicious. So yeah, turkey is mine. Alvin, what's your GOAT Thanksgiving dish?
It's got to be my dad's. So growing up in a Filipino household, my family anyway, I'm not speaking for all Filipinos, my family never made turkey during Thanksgiving, but my father does make a crazy ham. It's more of like a sweet ham though. So like he'll boil it and cook it in pineapple juice so that the juices get in there. And then afterwards he'll finish it off by covering it in brown sugar. And then pouring the pineapple juice within that same baking dish, and then throwing all that in the oven so the sugar like crystallizes and crisps up. And then he just throws like slices of pineapple on it and then serves it. And it's just every single year, it's just that's what I look forward to for Thanksgiving. He started making it like on other holidays too, just because like we asked for it. But yeah, that'll probably be my go-to, man. It's just perfect. It goes with rice because you already know I'm Filipino, so I eat rice with that too. We don't really make mashed potatoes and stuff like that, so you know, we'll probably have some pancit on the side with the ham.
Yeah.
You know, so hey,
sounds like a great dish. That's another dish that doesn't get enough love throughout the rest of the year. Ham. Give me some more ham in things. What the heck? Why don't we have ham? It's delicious. Anyways, Los, your go-to Thanksgiving dish, the best of all time.
Growing up and just this past weekend, it's my mom's turkey with gravy for sure. So I'm on your side, Lawrence.
Always.
Either that, I always look forward to her like coleslaw as a side.
Ooh,
coleslaw.
Yeah, she just makes a really good coleslaw, and I always associate that with like Thanksgiving or like, coleslaw. Very homely.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like a turkey has a very wide range of like, it has a low ceiling, it has a high ceiling, but it also has like a very low bottom too. Like a turkey can be very, very bad or very, very good. This is like a broad range of how a turkey can be.
You also call someone a turkey is like, it's not a good thing, right?
That's true.
Like, hey, look at that turkey.
It's very true. No one says, and a ham is a good thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. So maybe that's why.
Ooh, look at that ham.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty creepy. Yeah.
Hamming it up. Yeah. We did get, so moving on, errors, edits, and e-messages. We got a bunch of messages asking if we're okay. We're fine. We just have lives and we were busy for the last 3 weeks. So if anybody messaged us and kept asking, where's the podcast? First of all, it's here. Second of all, yes, we're fine. I've expressed how I'm not fine, but we're fine overall as a group. We're good. All right, moving on to the point that we've all been waiting for in the podcast. Definitely the point that Lois has been waiting for, his one-on-one interview. And it starts with 21 questions. Los, this is similar to 21 questions, when you were a young, strapping lad and talking to the girlies in high school.
You're calling him old, though? You're calling him old?
I didn't say how long ago it was. It was just, I just said he was young and strapping. I'm not saying he isn't still young and strapping. He just was also back then young and strapping. Similar to 21 questions, we got 21 questions for you. Just the first answer that comes to your head. It's like a little mini fire round. Are you ready?
Sure.
Right answer. Question number 1, air or boost?
Air.
Question number 2, crew socks or no shows?
No shows.
Question number 3, Air Max 1 or Air Max 90?
Air Max 1.
Question number 4, shoelaces tied tight in a bow or hanging loose?
I like the bow.
The bow. I'm also a bow man.
Yep.
Question number 5, pineapple on pizza?
No.
Why is that so surprising to me?
I mean, I would have it. If you ordered a pizza, I came over to your house right now. You ordered a pizza. We wouldn't have to heat it up because it's so hot in your place. But I would eat the pineapple on the pizza. Like, I'm not going to throw it out or like say no. I wouldn't order it for myself.
True.
Well, see, I would never invite you over because you don't get pineapple on your pizza. So the whole story is flawed. Question number 6. What is the largest planet in our solar system?
Earth.
No, Jupiter. The one with the rings is the big one. Question number 7. Dunks or Jordan 1s?
Jordan 1s.
Question number 8. What's a color that belongs on every shoe?
A color?
Yeah.
Black.
Question number 9. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Question number 10. Glow in the dark or 3M?
3M.
Question number 11. Since you're always getting your steps in, what's the most comfortable sneaker you own?
Oh.
Either a pair of New Balances or the Boosts, which I didn't pick over there.
That's weird now.
Hey, you said comfortable.
That's true. It's true. Comfort is not what we go for most of the time as sneakerheads, so it's fine. Question number 12. Hard shell or soft shell tacos? Ooh, wow. That's the one that stumps you?
Yeah, like I love them both. You know? Well, soft shell.
Soft shell.
Yeah, it has to be soft shell.
Got you. Question number 13. What are 3 sneaker heading essentials?
Sorry, what is that?
Like something Like 3 things that every sneakerhead needs.
Oh, sneakers would be one. A nice pair of sneakers.
Yep.
Some Jason Mark to clean the sneakers.
Plug.
And a camera to take pictures of your sneakers.
Beauty. Done.
Ooh.
Question number 14. What is the largest city in Saskatchewan in terms of population?
Regina.
No, it is Saskatoon.
Oh, Saskatoon. I was going to say Saskatoon, but then I'm like, oh, this must be a trick question.
Nope. Saskatoon. Okay. Population
it usually is a trick question, though.
226,000 people. That's
wow.
Crazy.
Okay. That's crazy.
City. Yeah.
Shout out Momentum, though, out of Saskatoon.
There you go.
Oh, facts.
The only thing out of Saskatoon. Yeah. Question number, that's like what? 200,000 of the 226,000. Question number 15, Apple Music or Spotify?
Spotify.
Question number 16, what's a dream brand you'd like to have on 8.5's roster?
I would love to do New Balance.
New Balance. That's a very good one. Question number 17. How many people live in Saskatoon?
Yeah, I didn't remember what you just said. It's got to be like 260,000.
Oh, like so close. 226,000. Very close.
You had the right numbers in there.
Yeah, it was just wrong order. Yeah. Question number 18. How many sneakers do you own?
Right now, I would say just about 100. I've gotten rid of a lot over the last couple of years. So around 100, give or take.
I feel like you're always getting rid of sneakers, and somehow you always still have a billion sneakers. But also same. So yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I can't really talk shit, but yeah. Question number 19. Spell Saskatchewan.
SAS Saskatchewan. TCHWAN.
Yes. No, you forgot an E. KATCHEWAN.
Oh shoot.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, very close. No one needs to spell that word.
I'm a horrible Canadian.
That's fine. We all are. Question number 20. What is your number one grail?
Number one grail?
Yep.
I don't know. Now, probably just like one of my Air Maxes. I don't know which one.
Air Maxes. Question number 21. Would you rather get your number one grail or 3 other pairs from your top 10 want list? 1 or 3, not including the 1, obviously.
I'm more about quality and over quantity, so I'd want the 1 over the 3.
True.
It's a very good choice. That one's very divisive. I feel like it always goes both ways. Like it's very split the way people answer that question.
If you asked me this like when I was younger and I just kind of first started, you want more pairs, right?
100%.
For sure, bro.
It's different now.
100%. Yeah, especially when you have so many, you're just like, give me the few that I need still. Yeah.
Like I would totally do that right now. Like I would trade 3 for 1 right now if I could. If someone would do that,
Yep. 1,000,000%. All right. Well, you failed 21 guesses, but it's fine. No one ever passes. So it was a uphill battle already.
Appreciate it.
Let's get into a little bit about your past here. How did you get involved in like the sneaker world to begin with, and kind of like, so like what got you started in sneakers, and like also what got you started in like the sneaker world of like professionally as well?
So I mean, I just was always into sneakers as a kid, like growing up. Like when the Air Max 90s came out, I got them in 1990.
Damn.
The infrareds. So like I had that shoe, and I remember rocking them and people thinking they're kind of weird. So I didn't mind wearing like a shoe that was different. Right.
Yeah.
And then like whenever shoes released at that time, I would get them. So it wasn't like multiple pairs. It was just always like one pair, but it was always like the sneaker. So like that's how I got into it. So I've always had a love since I was like in elementary school, which was a long time
you're
ago.
aging yourself, not me. You're aging yourself.
No, that's fine. No, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like I got into it just by like, I shouldn't say by default, but just by organically. And I just stuck with, and then I just stuck with it. And then like, in high school, I got into b-boying, and I always wanted a fresh pair of kicks while I was dancing. So like I'd wear a pair of Hirachis or a pair of air trainers, and kind of that's how I got more into it, and then you'd want multiple pairs because then you want one to dance and then a fresh pair. And then that kind of like idea of always having a fresh pair stuck with me. And then you meet other sneakerheads, and that's kind of how it started.
Did you ever do were you always Nike for b-boying, or did you get into that? Because I know Puma was huge, like Puma Suedes, Puma Clydes, Adidas Superstars.
Yeah, totally. I was always into like Reebok Classics. I had like the aerobic Reeboks. I had a bunch of Pumas, Suedes, Clydes. So yeah, I was never, and I had Adidas Gazelles and a couple other like running shoes.
Yeah, basically anything with a flat Volk sole was like.
Yeah, which is crazy to me because like it wasn't that comfortable.
Yeah, they're not very good performance shoes.
No, you know what I mean. Now you just see people like dancing whatever shoe, right?
Yeah.
But at one time I liked like heavier shoes, like I was dancing like in air trainers, and
that seemed
like all of them, like the SCs, the Bo Jacksons, and like
jeez.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's like the exact opposite of what you're supposed to be dancing in.
But it just looked super cool. It looked super cool.
100%. Yeah, that looked fire.
So yeah, that was one kind of like part of my life where like it was heavily revolved around sneakers, and then just meeting other sneakerheads as I got older and like traveling downtown. So that's kind of just stuck with it.
What about like professionally? Was Livestock like your entry point into working in that industry, or was there something before that?
No, that was the entry point. Before that, I was working at HMV.
Nice.
Maybe you guys like met me a long time ago. I was working at the Square One HMV.
Oh, really?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, upstairs, like where Zellers was.
Yes. Yeah. Wow, that's OG Square One. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know exactly where that HMV is.
Before that, I worked at HMV Sherway. Then I transferred there because I used to live in Saga for a bit.
Oh. Yes, I knew
for
that.
A brief period.
Because
like
I crept
Burnham Thorpe and Mavis area. Burnham Thorpe and Mavis area.
Yeah.
But then I was working at the HMV at Square One. And then from there, I moved downtown. So I was working at Yonge and Eglinton for a bit. But I would go out to a bunch of parties. And then that time, Scam would be at these parties, and he saw me. And I was always wearing like fresh sneakers, just part of the scene, right? Mm-hmm. So he asked me to work at this store that he was helping to open in 2007 at the beginning. So I just quit my job at HMV and then went over to Livestock and just helped them build that store and just like set it up for the opening, which was like in April of 2007.
Damn, that feels like forever ago now.
Yeah, it's so long ago.
15 years.
But yeah, that was like my first entry into sneakers, like in that world. I mean, I've always been part of it. Never worked in the retail side of things, and
that had to have changed a lot for you, right? Like that had to have been like a massive turning point just in like your life in general. No.
Yes, 1,000,000%. Like, it was like a 180 for me, So I've always wanted to be in that world. I shopped at Good Food and like Stolen Riches and all these other places, but to actually work at a sneaker store was cool.
And how long did you work there for?
I was there from 2007 to 2011, so 4 years. So I was like the manager there.
Yeah, formative years for sneaker culture in Canada, really. Like that's when everything, because that's when I started at Foot Locker in 2008. 2009. Yeah, and Alvin was very, very close behind me. So yeah, we saw the sneaker world kind of forming around us in Toronto because there wasn't a whole lot. Not mainstream, at least before that.
No. Growing up, there was some cool shops though, like around me. I'm not sure if you guys were familiar with. There's a shop called Shoestrings in Mississauga that had like random releases.
No,
it was like a little bit past Skis and Bikes, on Dundas there, like right before Dixie, I believe. It was called Shoestrings, and like they had like just random shoes. Like Brian and I bought a pair of Air Force Ones there, like in '97 samples. It was crazy.
Damn.
There, and then like there was this amazing place called Front Runner, which was by Kipling Station.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like a huge kind of like sneaker haven for everyone in the West End. But yeah, those are like two big stores before there was actually boutiques. Those are like perfect examples of like mom and pop shops.
Yeah, it was like, that's what the thing, right? It used to be like little pockets of sneakers kind of like scattered around, and now it feels like sneakers are kind of like everywhere. Like it's just like omnipresent with everything that we kind of do in our, and it probably depends on what industry you work in. So we're always surrounded by it. Is there anything that like, what was it kind of like working at Livestock in that time? Because I mean, me and Alvin have talked about working at Foot Locker back then around the same period, where it was like obviously very different than it is now. Like, what was it kind of like working at a sneaker boutique, which is even smaller than, because we worked at Foot Locker, so at least we always had that like corporate backing, like you knew you were always going to be fine. You worked at an independent boutique that was like, that something like that could have gone either way easily. Obviously we know where it is now. Back then I'm sure it was a little bit turbulent, to say the least. What was it kind of like? Any like specific challenges you guys remember facing, like when you opened, all that kind of stuff?
I mean, challenges not so much. I would say more like the positives, where we're like just more of the product that we were getting, we're getting some like higher tiered products. So like, when the Yeezys came out, having like those companies back the shops, they put money into like the releases and events revolving around sneaker releases. So that was like super cool to be part of. And like at the very beginning when we opened, like having the Atmos Air Max 1s there and like just stuff like that. Like I felt like having like certain releases dedicated to those types of shops, that was huge. I think another huge thing was like that you could do with like an independent boutique, because it was indie, it was like having like these like artists come for signings. So like doing the NERD one, Wale, and the Eclipse and Mac Miller even. That was nuts.
Huge name. That's so cool. Yeah.
And I feel like, like we don't see that anymore. Right. So
at all. Yeah.
At all. I don't see anyone do anything like that. Like you do get like little one-off like agency events, and I call them agency events because that's what they are, but you don't see like more of these like store community events.
It's like the manager of the performer is hitting up the manager of the store and be like, hey, can we do something, kind of thing.
Like that was super sick, and you're just like, okay, cool. Or like some guy comes and like shoots a video, and I mean like not like some dude that like just lives in your building doing a video, you know what I mean? Just like, like a notable artist would like hit you up, and like just kind of random, like, I know it probably still happens, but like random like artists coming through, because like that was just a spot, and sponsoring parties, and like there's a lot more of that. I feel like, I mean, you can tie that all into community and just like so like there's a lot of that at the beginning, and I think that was like a big thing with like having a sneaker boutique. You could do things like that. I mean, like, that's kind of basically it. I mean, it was super fun. I mean, like, just meeting new people too, all the time. I felt like I made a lot of connections, and I still have friends that I've made to this day, like good friends, from when I first started there. Like I met all you guys. I met like just random people that I probably would have never met before.
Yeah, so 100%. Yeah,
that's a huge thing for me, at least.
HMV, I'm sure, was great, but it wasn't connecting the same dots that you were getting at Livestock.
But I love music too, right?
Oh, so, absolutely. Yeah, I can imagine.
I enjoyed both.
Probably the coolest job. Yeah, like in high school, I would have probably loved to work at HMV just as much as I loved Foot Locker. Like that would be the coolest. For anybody listening who was either too young or doesn't live in, I don't even know if that was an Ontario or Canadian, but it's a CD store basically. It's a
music store.
Music store. Yeah. Music store and accessory store.
They still have them like in Japan, and
really
they're like
I didn't know that.
CDs in Japan are huge.
Oh, still. CDs. Like, I think you meant HMVs.
Oh no, Tower Records. Yeah, I don't know if any HMVs exist. I think the company went under. No,
I think they did.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Well, no cars now have CD players unless you go post.
That's true. Yeah.
Or pre-pandemic, I guess.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's ridiculous, bro.
Fun fact, actually, my old job, the warehouse used to be an HMV warehouse. They still had like a bunch of the posters up on the walls and stuff.
Oh, that's
the place
so
that
dope.
I worked before Soul Savvy was an HMV.
Wow.
Like maybe the head office. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We can talk about HMV all day. I used to love that store. I was, one more thing, actually. I was so pissed because I had a points card, like the one they did the points card.
Oh, yeah.
And I had like so many points. I still have all my CDs. I was like a huge like CD collector. I was just like, I would hoard them. I would still download them through Apple, but I would just hoard CDs because it was cool to collect. Had so many points and did not use any of them before the company went under. I was like, I'm one of those people who will save up points for like 10 years and then use it on like one really big thing. So I was ready. I was like, all right, I'm getting like a PlayStation 3 at the time or whatever. And now all of a sudden, all those points are just in the ether.
I'm waiting for the Lord of the Rings box set.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was the guy who would like go on like CD release day on like a Tuesday and like make sure to get like the deluxe version or whatever. Like, like, how many deluxe versions of Watch the Throne are you getting? Like, I need to get that one. Like, that was me. Anyways, how have you kind of seen sneaker or streetwear culture kind of grow since you first started at Livestock? And it was kind of like niche, as we mentioned, and now it's like, again, like every corner is a pair of Panda Dunks and a different consignment store. Like it's everywhere now. You're seeing it, sneaker collaborations with every single artist, every single like cultural entity is getting a sneaker. It's kind of like just, again, it's like the thing. How have you kind of seen it go from what it was when you started at Livestock to now? Like what's the progression kind of been like for you that you've seen?
I mean, like on a small scale, I'll just like working at Livestock and then seeing product come in that you would never know is coming out. I think that was kind of cool. So like the element of surprise, it'll just show up and you're like, oh, what's that? That's nuts. But you don't even really know too much about it. So you like research it on your own and just kind of word of mouth. So like internet was like very, I mean, it wasn't really a thing. There were still blogs and like, I think Hypebeast was just starting. So it wasn't bad in that sense where like, you wouldn't know what type really. Right.
You gotta choose
now I feel like if it's not hype, it's just like it's nothing. So like not so many people love shoes as like I liked general releases and I still do, you know, but no one would ever like think like that's a cool shoe nowadays, like unless it's like hype or it's like it's not resold or all that. So I mean, like I have a love-hate relationship for like resellers. You know, I'm sure a lot of people do. I feel like it's more about the money, less about community. You know, that'd be one aspect of it. But on the other hand, it's just like, man, something I love. It's like massive. Like you can't be mad at that.
Absolutely. It just opens up so many doors for everybody involved, right? Whether you're just passionate about sneakers, you're like, now there's a sneaker release pretty much every day. There's a shoe coming out somewhere. And before it used to be there's a Jordan release every 2 weeks, maybe a cool Nike release every month. And like that was it. Now it's literally every day there is a sneaker release of some sort. Yeah, you can't be mad at that.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like you said, like you kind of mentioned, it used to be stuff shows up and the store kind of decides what's cool. Like you're like, okay, I'm going to put this in the front window because I like it. And then people are going to see it walking by. You didn't know what was coming. The internet wasn't there to tell you what's cool. Now that's what it is. The dollar amount that's associated with it. And like some random guy who has 1 million followers on Instagram is telling you it's cool rather than like the stores used to be like the leaders of the culture for a long time.
I mean, sometimes I fall victim to that as well, right?
We all do.
I'm sure we all do.
Yeah, that's super. It's hard not to when you're on social media and especially in this industry. It's impossible. You got to take a step back sometimes and be like, maybe I do need Panda Dunks, even if they're being bastardized by the industry.
Hey, I got a pair and I wear them. So
there you go. Yeah, absolutely. And you also wear your general purpose shoe. Balance, right?
There you go. That's like that's the hype beast version of the Panda shoe.
Honestly, it is. Yeah. Honestly, for real.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good analogy. That's very true.
It's true though. And it's funny is like I see a lot of people wearing that shoe, but also knocking the Panda shoe. It's like, it's same.
Yeah.
You know? Spider-Man.
Literally. Yeah, literally just pointing at each other like, there's a trillion pairs of us both. Like,
yeah, it's true.
You guys see that they dropped at Kohl's in the States, the general purpose shoe?
Yes.
They released them at Kohl's, which I didn't even know what it was. I had to look it up because we don't have them in Canada, I don't think. But it's like a winner's equivalent, basically.
Yeah, it's just a random shop, like far away from like a major city.
Yes, exactly. That was like, and they made sure to pick specific locations that were like not in major centers. Like it was actually a kind of cool release because they just like showed up and like they just put them on the wall or like on their whatever they have them, like all the boxes out on the floor, like super like department store, put them on the wall. They let people know online. They were like, these are the stores that have them. And they were all in like the middle of nowhere. like a very cool, like it's obviously a marketing ploy to get like the internet going, but yeah, I mean, I think people were saying like the boring shoe for the boring store, like a very, very cool rollout for that. I like that a lot. See, now I'm selling myself on wanting to get a pair. Damn it.
That's what happens though, you know?
I know. Now we're talking it out. I'm like, maybe they are kind of cool. Moving on to kind of like what you're doing now instead of the past. What's it kind of like repping brands now? Like, do you like pick and choose who you're repping and who you're like selling for? Do they approach you? Do you approach them? Like, what's that world kind of even like?
Well, I'll start off like after I left Livestock, the same owner owned a distribution company called Take 5. So I started working for them. And they did brands like the Hundreds, 10 Deep, BBC, A Life, and then a couple other ones that I forget. I mean, not worth mentioning. But so like they already had established brands that they're doing distribution for. I just was a sales rep for Eastern Canada, basically. And then I would kind of like, I can kind of like figure out what stores they'd be in. And like for those brands in particular, it's like they're pretty hype at the time. So it's like stores wanted them, right? So there's more of a demand back then, I would say, for brands than there is now because there's just so many. I did from 2011 to 2019. I worked for Take 5. And then in 2019, I left on my own and started 8.5 agency, which is named after my shoe size. And I got to keep some of the same brands. So I do Jason Mark, G-Shock. I do Baxter of California, which is like a men's grooming brand. I do a brand called Taken, which is from Vancouver.
Yep. Love their stuff. You gave me a couple of their pieces and I love it.
Yeah. Like a Japanese kind of like toolbox storage brand called Toyo.
Yep.
It's super
That's
cool.
getting super big now too. I think I've seen that everywhere.
I've been getting into a lot of shops. And I mean, the thing about that brand too is in general, all the brands I do are they kind of don't compete with each other. So you can put them into like the same stores, or you can put them into different stores. Like Toyo can go into like a design store, or it can go into like an art supply store. So, I mean, and it wouldn't like hurt the business if it's like in Livestock or like an art store down the street, right? Yep. So a lot of the brands can sit in like different channels. So that's a good thing about like the brand roster I have now. And then I picked up a new like men's grooming brand called Basic Maintenance Lab, which is from Toronto. Those are like all the brands I do now. I'm always looking, like it just has to be the right one. I've been approached a couple of times by different brands, but I had to deny them. So it's not really about like the quick money. It's about like the right fit
for sure,
and longevity as well.
You're gonna believe in it too, right? Like especially if you're essentially one of the faces of the brand, and you need to be able to go and like make people believe it's cool as you think it's cool, right? You need to believe in what the product is. You can't just pick something up and be like, sure,
yeah, totally,
sell this to somebody. Sure.
No, it's true. It's like. Yeah, like I mean, I won't mention any brands, but like I've said no to some, and I just didn't think it was like the right fit, or I couldn't do it justice, Like, it's just not me.
Yeah, it's like sleazy car salesman vibes to like sell something you don't believe in, right?
Yeah,
like
I'm not that guy, I just don't want to make a quick buck, even though like during the pandemic I probably should have.
Could have used a couple quick bucks.
I could have used some of those bucks, right? But I was able to stay afloat, thank God, and like this year's been pretty successful as well. So,
nice.
Knock on wood. Hopefully it keeps going that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You kind of mentioned it earlier, but you were at Take 5, you were repping a lot of brands that like stores really wanted. And I feel like a lot of the brands you're doing now, I'm familiar with, I think all the ones you mentioned, but I feel like a lot of people might not be. Do you find it's like more difficult to get those kind of names inside of doors? Because as we mentioned earlier, a lot of the public or the general consumer is waiting for someone to tell them what's cool. And it may not, it's usually, I mean, if you look on social media, it's a Cactus Jack t-shirt or a Jordan t-shirt or whatever. Like it's these big multi-billion-dollar brands that are what everyone is after. Do you find that it's more difficult? Like, are there different stores you're trying to target because of that? Like just the difference between trying to sell a brand that is everyone wants to like literally trying to sell a brand that maybe they've never even heard of.
Yeah. I mean, like it's super challenging. You know, but like, I feel if it's the right brand, it just has like the right aesthetic, and it's like the best of like, I would say like like Toyo is like the best toolbox, you know, it's like design driven. Some people never heard of it, but like once they see it, they're like, oh, okay, like this is cool. This can work. Right. So, and then like just having, I'll use that brand as an example. And then like you see marketing, like Supreme used them for one of the collabs, right?
Yes.
So they made like a Supreme Toyo box. So you see like this marketing, outside marketing, I should say. And then like, you know, you mention it to a store, they're like, oh yeah, I've seen that. And, you know, like it all ties in together. So like, I try to kind of like use like collabs to like my advantage, in terms of putting it to people's faces. So like I send them a link. I'm like, hey, they did this with this. I thought it might work well in your shop, even though it's not the collab. It's just like the regular product, but I kind of use that as a sales tool, so to speak. But yeah, it's definitely challenging, you know, like especially if the brand just started, it's like no one's heard of it, right? So I feel like you gotta like, you know, give someone a sample or, you know, put it in their face, and, you know, marketing is key, I would say.
Do you prefer that? Like maybe not prefer, but do you like that? Like having the challenge and like being able to introduce and sell something to someone rather than just like, again, when it's 2007 and you're trying to sell the hundreds, or maybe a little bit later, whatever, 2011, and you're trying to sell the hundreds, like it's popping off. Like you probably just show them all the different Bob-omb t-shirts and they're like, yep, give me all those t-shirts. I want all of them. Exactly. And now it's like you have to literally go through every single piece and explain the, like, whatever, the brand ethos and all that kind of stuff, like just really sell it. Do you prefer like the current approach than to just like, give me one of everything?
If I could have the best of both worlds, it would. So like, hey, like for some people, it's just like, yep, they already know what they can order, But I also like to explain it. I also like to be hands-on, and, you know, and 100%. I feel some of the brands I do that, like a Jason Mark or like but even like a Baxter or Toyo, like they do that for me. Whereas like you could do like a Jason Mark event, like Alvin, you came out to one the other day. So like you could do things like that. Like it makes it a little bit less boring, right?
Yep, 100%. On the topic of Jason Mark, we'll close it with this because obviously probably one of the bigger brands that I would say on your roster.
Yeah,
very big.
It's my biggest brand right now.
I was gonna say
it's that and G-Shock.
Yeah, the very massive names. And you've been with Jason Mark for over a decade now, if I'm remembering your timeline right. How have you seen them grow? Because 2011, I don't even know if I was using Jason Mark. I was probably using like Foot Locker brand, whatever, like no-name brand bottles. And now Jason Mark is just the cleaner. Like everyone is trying to be Jason Mark, whether you're a Crep Protect and you think you're not. Like everyone's trying to be Jason Mark. How have you kind of seen them grow, and like what's that kind of been like for you?
I mean, it's been great team. For the most part, it's been the same guys.
That's cool.
So like having a good team behind you, the story hasn't changed. Tried and tested and true, the product, you know, like they introduced a few new SKUs here and there. But for the most part, it's been the exact same. The formula has changed over the years. So it's, you know, now it's biodegradable, and there's like, you know, a lot of sustainable, I would say like features, or like, what can I say? What's a word? A lot of sustainability kind of like sustainability involved. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
hire me.
You got it.
That was a test. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, like they basically stayed true to who they are, and I mean that's a testament for like their like work ethic and all that.
That's like the dream for everybody, man. Like they have 10 solid SKUs that like they're good. They're evergreen. They'll be good forever. Doesn't matter the season. Doesn't matter where you're selling. It's just man, what a literal dream for everything.
Yeah. And they don't rush into like, you know, like I'm sure they can make like all sorts of new SKUs, but they take their time, and you know, they just came out with a new one, hat care one.
The hat care.
Yes, that's right.
Which is super smart. And it's like literally a new formula, right?
So is it? I was going to ask. I was wondering if it was the same formula or just a different brush or.
No, different formula. So like that took time, and like, you know, that's biodegradable as well, but it's just softer, it's safer. better for your skin. You know, like you're wearing your hat.
Yep. Touches your
the
face.
Inside of your hat's touching your face and all that. So, yeah, super cool. So I'm excited to like roll that out to new stores. So like there's excitement there, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. They're not one of those brands that go off like the gimmicky stuff, like not going to name names, like we have these soul protectors and all these like different, like they're not, again, they're like they're the Nike of sneaker accessories or cleaners or whatever, right? They're like, everything's very calculated. Everything is very refined. It's I
always use that analogy as well. It's perfect.
So you're saying I'm hired. Wow, look at us, huh? 2 peas in a pod.
There you go.
You fit in an 8.5, right, Lawrence?
Oh, I do fit in an 8.5. I've bought Los's shoes before, so many times actually, more than I'd care to admit. All right, well, Los, this has been really fun. Actually, this has been awesome. Really cool to hear about all your stuff. We really appreciate you coming out. I've been sitting in 88 degrees, so I need to go take a shower. This has been awesome. So we appreciate you coming, man.
Okay. Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course, bro. Wherever you guys are taking in this episode, please leave a comment, review, follow, and or subscribe. Make sure to check out CanadaGotSold.ca to shop the latest CGS merch. Peep the YouTube for our latest videos and check out CGS Talk on Facebook to chop it up with us. Do not forget to use hashtag CanadaGotSold on Instagram for a feature. I've been Lawrence Hopkins, and you can find me at LDoggyStyles on Instagram. Woof.
You can follow Kuya Joel at Joe Dooney. That's JO_D3OsNEY. I've been Alvin Quincy, and you can find me at MisterQ and then Mart.
Los, where can they find you if you want to be found?
On Instagram at LOS_Ortiz. If you want to see me eat a lot of food.
Yes. Breakfast sandwiches. Yes. Thank you for listening to us talk about sneakers for 213 episodes. And please remember to rock your kicks. This has been True to Size. We have been CGS and Los Ortiz, and we are out.
Peace.
Fire. That was great, man. Thank you so much.
You killed it, bro. Okay. Thank you, man.
That was awesome. I don't do podcasts.
I didn't know what to say about sustainability. I forgot the word.
Okay, man. I wouldn't have known.